Today's webinar is all about what's new in ShareFile. So what we'll be covering today is recapping all of the biggest features that we've released in the past 3 months. So if you missed anything the past 3 months, don't worry, we'll cover it today. So we'll be covering a number of features. And what that really means is we'll give you a lot of time to ask questions, get some clarifications on that new functionality. And then we also have some product experts on the back side of the call today to help answer questions too. But we'll also leave time at the very end for a live Q&A. So just to look at our agenda today, you can see all of the features that we'll be covering and highlighting. We've broken it up by plan type. So if you're in the advanced plan, those first 2 will pertain to you. If you're in the premium plan, those first 4 will apply to you, and so on. So you can understand what things may be of interest for you. And these features that we'll be covering today will be more of like an introduction to those functionalities, so you can really understand what they are, maybe some key features inside of that functionality, and the value they can have for your processes. So we won't necessarily be doing live demos today like you normally see through some of our webinars, but we'll instead sort of showcase some of the short videos, maybe screenshots, so you can really understand the value before jumping into the product and actually using them. So we will go ahead and get started with our first feature. And before we get the question, because we always do, we will be recording today, and we'll send out the recording a day or 2 after the webinar. But we'll go ahead and get started with our first feature. Pragyan will get us started here with self-service on-prem to cloud migration.
Thank you, Stacy. Hi, everyone. I'll be walking you through the self-serve migration from on-prem to cloud storage. So what this feature will allow you to do is you can seamlessly migrate your data from your on-prem account, on-prem storage zone to your cloud storage zone. You might have a cloud storage zone already enabled on your account. If not, you will also get an option to buy more cloud storage through storage packs. When we talk about self-service of on-prem to cloud migration, initially this process was involving a lot of stakeholders. So customers have to create the support ticket, then it goes to engineering, and there were a lot of stakeholders who were involved in this migration. But right now what we have done is we have completely made this self-serve, where you can go to your admin dashboard, admin settings, and then you can go to your storage and storage zones, and from there you can choose to migrate your data from your on-prem storage to your cloud storage. This feature is available for all plans starting from advanced. What this will also help you to do is easier and faster migration. You can also move your data to cloud storage to access the other cloud only features like e-signatures and AI capabilities. You also can choose to have hybrid storage, which means you can also have a separate on-prem storage as well as a cloud storage on the same account. So yeah, that is on the self-serve from on-prem to cloud migration. Yeah, so here what you're seeing is when you go to admin section and storage, you'll get an option to initiate your data migration. Once you click on that, you will see 2 options. If you have enough storage, you can start the migration. Here what you're seeing is you don't have enough storage. So it is redirecting you to manage plan section, where you can choose to buy more storage. So when you click on add storage, and then you have an option to buy more storage here, and then you click on add for adding additional storage, and your storage is updated. Now when you again go back to the same customer managed storage zone, which is the on-prem storage zone, and you click on initiate data transfer, it checks that if you have sufficient storage or not. And since you have sufficient storage, you will be asked to select a destination cloud storage zone, which is here ShareFile US East is the storage zone selected. And once you click on start migration, your migration will be created, and you'll have to wait shortly for the migration to be started. You also have a cancel migration button using which you can cancel the migration. The data which has already moved will stay in place, but no further data will move from here. And the migration will happen in the background. So here you can see the migration is already happening. You also have an option to pause and resume migration. So once you have paused, you also can resume migration from here. Yeah, and as you can see, once your data is migrated, we'll just refresh this to see if the data is migrated. And once the data is migrated, you'll be able to see that all of your data has been moved to your cloud storage. And you will also get an option to delete the existing on-prem storage. This is completely your choice, that if you want to go ahead and delete the existing on-prem storage zone or not, but you will get an option to do that. That is it for self-serve on-prem to cloud migration. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And Sumit, I think you're up next.
Yes, thanks Pragya, thanks Stacy. So the next feature that I'm going to talk about is something that's specific to ShareFile for Windows. Now, one of the most requested updates that we've been hearing from our customers about is to support ARM-based devices for ShareFile for Windows. And many of you use such devices, maybe Microsoft Surface devices, or let's say any laptop that is powered by a Snapdragon processor. And until now, there wasn't a straightforward way of accessing ShareFile for Windows via these devices. So I'm happy to announce that with the latest update, ShareFile for Windows now fully supports the ARM64 architecture, which means that any and all devices that have the ARM processor will now be able to run ShareFile for Windows natively. This means that you don't need to necessarily find any workarounds or jump through any hoops in order to access the Windows application for ShareFile. But what does this actually enable you to do? So first would be you will get seamless access, which means that you can just open up your ARM device, you can launch ShareFile, and that's it. It just works. You don't have to rely on any other workaround. Basically, you don't need to mess around with any emulator or have any virtualization or rely on the browser or the web version of ShareFile to access your files. You can just natively have it on your ARM-based device. And third, you will get the entire functionality of ShareFile for Windows on your ARM-based device now, which means that any and all features that are available on the usual ShareFile for Windows version will now be present on this ARM version as well. So basically, whenever you have a high performance based ARM laptop, as a lot of you people use, I'm sure, you will also get the ability to now access ShareFile for Windows natively over there, and you wouldn't have to have any workarounds. So yeah, that's about the ARM processor.
Now we're going to talk about project close behavior with Meeta.
Hello, hi everybody. I will be talking to you about the project close behavior, which is now available in premium and higher plans. Put simply, if you are a project owner inside ShareFile, you can now formally close and reopen a project instead of deleting it. When you close a project, all resources inside a project move into a read-only state. Nothing inside that project can be altered or tampered with, but everything will remain accessible to those with the right levels of permissions. Let's move on to the next slide, Stacey. All right, I encourage you to take a look at the screenshot on your right. We unfortunately don't have a video, but better yet, you're encouraged to just try this out in your own accounts. Why this capability matters: if you are engaging in high trust engagements, especially let's say you're handling legal matters, entertaining audits, or just doing high trust client work, a certain finality to the work matters. Completion cannot be an assumption, it cannot be left to chance, and it must be provable. Sometimes it is required by law for you to legally close an engagement that you have ongoing with a client. Without that, there's always going to be ambiguity. You run the risk of lack of clarity with your clients as well. There will always be doubts whether somebody can make changes. Is the project really finished? That uncertainty is high risk. And for compliance, for client confidence, for your own internal discipline, that kind of closure really matters. So what this capability will now allow you to do, as a project owner, you can just open or go to the project that you want to formally end, click on the option that you will see on the right-hand side, select the option to change to close, and that will turn that project into a read-only mode. You can go into the tab which you can see currently tagged as open on the top menu. If you go click on that option, it will give you the option to see close projects as well. And when you click on that, you will be able to see all projects that were closed, and you can choose to reopen if required. Keep in mind, all resources will be logged to a read-only state. The full record is always preserved, and if needed, as the owner, you can reopen and restore everything, including the artifacts and tasks to the last state. The benefits are clearly threefold. It marks a formal closure. There is clear protection of the assets and avoids any kind of accidental edits. And there's a certain protocol that's maintained. Couple of things to keep in mind. Closing a project is not the same as deleting it. With the act of closing a project, you're essentially preserving a record that work was completed. This is also not archiving. That's a separate capability that is not yet available in projects. And only project owners can close and reopen. Every closure is, of course, logged in the activity history. So a quick recap, as project owners, you can close a project going forward. And this is more than just about marking something as done. It's about you having the ability to give certainty to your clients, to your teams, that a project has truly reached its end state, nothing more is required, and that you have a clear, auditable record of completion. Thanks so much for listening.
Awesome, thanks, Meeta. We will move on to document validation. So this is one of our newest AI-enabled features inside of ShareFile, if you're not familiar with it. This feature instantly flags any issues in a client uploaded document inside of a document request list. This will help automatically scan that document, matching it to the description that is provided inside of that document request list, and the title of that document request list item, and basically compare it to make sure it's the right document that it is meant to be uploaded. This will obviously help you save a ton of time, not having to manually check just for accuracy of the document that's being requested. So we'll dig more into what this feature is, and I have a demo video as well to show you all. So when you request an item inside of a document request list inside of ShareFile, it will notate a title for that document that you're requesting, and then also a description for it too. And then when you can see on the screenshot on the right side of the screen, when a client uploads a document to that item, it will scan that document, making sure it is matching the title and the description correctly. If it does not, it will send a notification as to relook at that file to the client that did upload it. And it says, you may have made a mistake. It may be the wrong file, please upload a new file, or the client user can just dismiss the notification if it is in fact the right file for some reason. They can still submit that file regardless, so it won't be disrupting their journey too much, but will help save you as a service provider on the front end, helping minimize those errors that do happen. Obviously can help speed up a lot of the validation that happens within the document request list collection process, help you minimize those errors and compliance risk, especially if you're having a ton of documents that you're requesting from a client, maybe hundreds. Just imagine how much time you'd spend manually looking, making sure they uploaded the right documents before you start working on that service with them. And then helps you really cut down a lot of the operation overhead that you may have spending those hours checking those documents. So we're really excited about this. I think it really extends the value of our document request list and document collection inside of ShareFile. So this is just a visual of showing you what the client would see when they upload a document. I obviously uploaded the wrong document here to showcase the error message that the client would receive. Basically having them re-review the file that they did upload because it does not match the description and title of what was requested. You still have, like I said, the chance to just dismiss that notification and submit it if it is the right document for some reason. Another value with this feature and our document request list tool in general is we have the ability to leave comments on those items too. So let's say it was the right document for some reason and they want to just leave a comment, hey, I got an error, this was the wrong one, this is actually the right one, or this is all the files that I had available for that item. Maybe you're requesting 2 or 3 files and they only uploaded 1. So super valuable, I think, especially with a lot of the document collection workflows that happen inside of the product. Moving on to, I believe our last feature of the day, which is our payment request inside of the income tax return solution. This is probably more pertinent to our accounting customers joining us today. We do have a functionality inside of ShareFile that lives inside of our industry advantage plan type called the income tax return solution. And what that is, if you're unfamiliar with it, it really facilitates the client engagement and interaction portion of a tax engagement inside of ShareFile. So you're not having to send them to 5 different places to have them work with you. It can be facilitated completely inside of ShareFile, and now with payments being that last piece as well. So we've added the ability to request payment through Stripe as our first integration with this solution. And you'll be able to connect your Stripe instance inside of ShareFile and send that payment request directly to the client without ever leaving ShareFile as well. So what that looks like, if you're familiar and if you've seen the tax solution before, it'll be an extra tab that lives inside of that engagement for that client under payment request. That's where you can kick off that payment request. Once you download the solution inside of your account, the admin would need to do that. There's a connection on the settings. That's where you would add your integration with your payment instance with Stripe. And that would then kick it off for all of your users that are using the solution. So your users wouldn't have to manually connect the Stripe integration themselves, just the admin would have to do that. Obviously, it helps centralize all of the client interaction engagement portion of that engagement inside of one place, never really having to leave ShareFile to facilitate any kind of needs from the client, help you reduce a lot of the friction in the payment processes. And I know with some people that we've talked with have issues, only one person has the access to maybe their Stripe account and can be the only person that can really send that payment, and sort of a bottleneck. That helps resolve that. Everyone would be able to send those payment requests to their client without having to have one person facilitate that. Obviously, really help with improving tracking and organization as well. So all of those files and the comments, the engagement agreements, any kind of signed files and payment requests can be seen in one place, being able to check and make sure that the engagement is completed or not. So I do have a quick video of what that looks like. So you'll see that new tab of the payment requests after it's configured inside of the solution. And then once that's kicked off and sent to the client, they're able to see that inside of their client portal of that request that's sent from them. They'll get that notification inside of their client portal, but they'll also, more importantly, get that notification via email and be able to complete that payment in their email. So they don't necessarily have to log into the client portal to complete that payment. We know that's important to clients. So they're getting notifications and be able to view that task for them in both places.